about this normal forms. Okay, so first normal form 1NF. What is 1NF? 1NF is nothing but a relation is said to be in that is in 1NF or one first normal form if it is already in unnormalized form or it has no repeating groups. What do you mean by repeating groups? That every attribute should be atomic. That means not a single attribute should have number of attributes repeating. Every attribute should be atomic, one value for that attribute. If you are having more than one value, then it is said to be repeating group. Fine. So now for this, you people can note down 1NF for that no repeating group or every attribute should be atomic. At least write down this. Just a small description for you people, for your Viva, it will help you. For 1NF, no repeating groups or every attribute should be atomic. We'll see with the example. Suppose you are having this table. Okay, we are having a customer table where I have customer ID, I have customer name and phone number. Right now I have taken simple table with less number of attributes to clear the concept. So I am having customer ID as 1, I am having customer name as ABC, I am having phone numbers and so on. What happened here? Phone number is having more than one value. Whereas for those value, I am having only one name and one ID. So here it is not matching with this, right? So I am having this as a repeating group. So to avoid that in normalization, when we want to, this relation, customer relation is not in 1NF as it contains a repeating group, right? So we are going to break this customer relation into two different relations. Okay, we are going to break this relation into two different relations where we will not have a repeating group. So what I can do, as I am considering customer ID as a primary key, I will make one group as a customer ID with customer name. So I will have my table like this, customer ID, customer name. This is done where my customer ID is a primary key. Now for second table, what I can do, I will make customer ID and phone number as another group, right? So where I will have here customer ID and phone number. Now here in this case, this value is 1 and again I cannot say customer ID self primary key. So I can customer ID phone number primary key. And I am that is one with this phone number and one with this, both having the values, right? Knowing one with the values, right? Here, this is having a separate column, separate row. This is a separate row. So, in this case, you get that you have observed working with relation, creating diagram. That time we are breaking the multi-valued attribute in a different table, right? So that is only the concept used here in normalization. So somewhere if you are forgetting to do that over here, normalization will help you to do that. That you have to make it as a separate table with primary key of that table and the multi-valued attribute column as another column for that table. Okay, so this table is in 1NF where it is not having any repeating group. This table is in 1NF where it is not having any repeating group. One attribute is not having two values. Okay, here it is one, here it is one, here it is one value, here it is one value. So all are separate. So I can say now these two tables R1 and R2 are in 1NF. Clear everyone? 1NF concept is clear to everyone? With when we'll solve the example, real example or for your exam point of view, it will be more clear, but right now the concept is this. It should not have a repeating group. Remember that right now. Okay, we'll go for now 2NF. That is a 2NF second normal form. Maybe these notes, these photos too, I took in the morning. So these are not more clear, but I am reading for you people. While uploading, I'll take it properly. Yeah. So second normal form. For second normal form, you have to remember this underline words, or you can note down those words. No partial dependency. No partial dependency, or you can say it should be fully functional dependency. It must have a fully functional dependency. No partial functional dependency. That word you remember. Now, what do you mean by partial functional dependency? Right? So that concept I will clear you. Or this partial functional dependency exists only when we are having primary key as a combination of two or more attributes. When we are saying primary key is a combination of two or more attribute, then this partial functional dependency concept comes. And usually in exam, when they give you the sum, in that definitely they put this partial functional dependency or two attributes as a primary key. Always. Till now, whatever sum we have solved, everywhere this concept is there. They have added this sum. Okay. So now, a relation is said to be in 2NF if it is already in 1NF. So you have to check. Always you have to go in order when you are solving the sum. A relation has to be in 1NF first. Once you have done with that 1NF checking, then only you can go ahead with the 2NF to check the 2NF part. Always remember. So relation you have to check whether it is in 1NF or not. If it is 1NF, you can check it for the 2NF. So that is, a relation is said to be in 2NF if it is already in 1NF first normal form and it has no partial dependency or it has fully functional dependency. Okay. So as I told you, partial functional dependency exists only when you are having primary key as a combination of two or more attributes. Okay. So we'll see with the example. So partial dependency is nothing but a part of key. What is part of key? We'll see. In a relation having more than one key field, a subset of non-key field may depend on all the key fields, but another subset may depend on only one of the key fields. Such dependency is called partial dependency. Means I am having suppose project number and project name as a primary key. Correct? I am having two attributes of your table, project number and project name, as combination is my primary key. But there are some non-key attributes, say salary or time. All these attributes depend on part of my primary key. Maybe only project number can determine the salary of that employee or salary column. Maybe your project name can determine the duration, right? So this is known as a partial dependency. Part of key attribute is determining non-key attribute. That is known as a partial functional dependency. Okay, so example I will show you here. I am having roll number and student name as my key attribute. Okay, these two are determining the marks of that student. Roll number and student name, which is my key attribute, combination of key attribute, which are determining my non-key attribute, that is marks. So this is fully functional dependency. Okay, so this relation is in 2NF right now. But if I am having roll number related to this example only, if roll number determining address, roll number is a part of my key attribute and address is my non-key attribute, right? So this non-key attribute depends on the part of my key attribute, not full primary key or not full key attribute, because my key attribute is roll number and S name, student name. But here only part of that key attribute determining some non-key attribute. So this relation, this functional dependency is known as partial functional dependency. Clear, everyone? Student, I want your reply. If this is clear or not, then only I will go ahead. Yeah. So here, when we are saying uh, to check whether the given relation is in 2NF, first you have to check whether it is in 1NF. Once that part is done, so in exam also you have to go ahead. If they asked you, check whether the given relation is in given relations are in 3NF or not. First you have to start from 1NF. You will get 2 marks for that if you have done it properly. Then you have to go to for checking 2NF. If you do that correctly, you will get allotted marks for that. So step by steps you will get marks. Okay. So when I am saying for 2NF, when you want to check, what you have to do, first check it for whether it is in 1NF or not. Once that is done, you have to check whether there exists any partial dependency in that relation. If exists, then you have to say it is not in 2NF. To make it 2NF, we have to break that relation into two different relations. Or we have to break that relation. That how to write for solving the sum, I will explain you properly in next lecture. So, if partial functional dependency present, you have to remove that partial functional dependency and then you have to say these are in 2NF or second normal form. Okay, for that example just now I said if you are having roll number and student name as a key attribute which are determining marks which is non-key attribute, then we can say it is in 2NF. But if we are saying roll number only determining address, where roll number is part of my key attribute, then I can say this relation or this functional dependency is not in 2NF. Okay, as it is partial functional dependency. Clear? So that is everyone clear, remaining all? So here I have taken one more example which I am not explaining right now. How to solve this sum, that part I will explain in next lecture. I will go for 3NF now. 3NF is third normal form. Okay, 3NF is third normal form. Third normal form, you have to first check your all relations are in 2NF. Okay, first you have to check whether the relations which you have solved till now are in 2NF. If it is there, then you can go for checking the 3NF, third normal form. So for that, you have to remember this, write down this. No transitive dependency. Okay, there should not exist any transitive dependency in your relations. And if it is there, then you have to mention that it is not in 3NF. So you have to break the relation. Okay, transitive dependency you already know. You have studied the concept of transitivity in functional dependency. If A determine B and B determines C, then we can say A determines C. If such things are there in your given relation, then you have to break that relation to make it in a 3NF, to bring it into a third normal form, right? So in this third normal form, when we are doing the concept of transitivity, you already know A determine B. So in this term, A is known as determinant and B is known as dependent. Remember this concept for your MCQ questions. A is known as determinant and B is known as a dependent because A is determining B and B is dependent on A. Okay, so that is about one more thing. In this transitive dependency, dependency is always on among the non-key attribute. Here your A is not key attribute. Remember that. Dependency is among the non-key attribute. A as well as B or whatever you are having the final is not, these none of the attribute is your key attribute. This is among the non-key attribute. Okay. So that is about the transitivity. How to solve that, I will explain you when I will go for the sum part. Right now I'm not explaining that with the sum. Okay, one more here I can show you with the sum. For example, is my transitive functional dependency. So this transitive functional dependency should not exist, and for that purpose we have to break this transitivity. So how to solve that, we'll do it in some part. Okay, next is here one new concept, or already I have covered this surrogate key in your key part of chapter number 3. But still, I need that concept for BCNF. So I'll just tell you what is a surrogate key. When primary key is considered to be unsuitable, when primary key is, you can see here, when primary key is considered to be unsuitable, designers use surrogate keys. Surrogate keys are nothing but defined attribute which is generally managed by DBMS, database management system. Okay, so surrogate key is on the spot created attribute, key attribute is known as a surrogate key. Sometimes it is possible that my primary key is not helping me to find out particular relation. So in that case, I have to change my primary key on that particular relation, or on the spot I have to decide now this can act as my primary key. So that is nothing but surrogate key, on the spot decision for the key attribute. Okay, so that is known as a surrogate key. This concept we required in our BCNF, which is known as the Boyce code normal form. Okay, so Boyce code normal form. When table contains only one candidate key, the 3NF and BCNF are equivalent. Only one key attribute candidate key present to be as a primary key, then your 3NF and BCNF are same. No difference in that. But in case in which non-key attribute is the determinant of key attribute. Now, determinant means, just now I showed you, if this is your non-key and this is your key attribute, non-key is determining key attribute, means non-key is determinant and key attribute is dependent, then in that case you have to say it is not in a Boyce code normal form. Okay, but in case in which non-key attribute is the determinant of key attribute, then it does not violate the 3NF. 3NF doesn't matter because there we are checking the transitivity, but it creates a problem or it fails to meet the BCNF requirement, because in BCNF every determinant in the table is a candidate, should be a key attribute determinant. Fine. So that you have to check in BCNF. For example, I am explaining here. Suppose I am having R is my schema or relation which is having the attribute A, B, C, D. A, B are a primary key, or you can say candidate key, where A, B determines C, D. Fine, my key attributes are determining non-key, no issue. C is determining B. C is my non-key attribute which is determining my key attribute, part of key attribute, that is B, right? So here it is not violating my 3NF concept, but it is violating my BCNF concept. So I have to solve this further. I will use the concept of surrogate key. It has no partial dependency and no transitivity. As per that, partial means part of key attribute determining some non-key attribute. Is there A determining something? Is there B determining something in the functional dependency? No. So no partial functional dependency. This is my key attribute which is fully determining some non-key attribute. That is okay. So no partial functional dependency. Is there any transitivity? A determine C or C determine non-key determine non-key? No. Right? So partial functional no repeating groups are there. So this is in 1NF, 2NF and 3NF. Now I have to check for BCNF. Here non-key is determining part of key attribute. So this is not in BCNF. So I have to convert this into the BCNF. For that, I will write change. See the star mark which I have done here. Change the primary key to A plus C instead of AB. You are having AB determines CD. So I have drawn the diagram for that. It looks like AB determining C and D. Okay, and C determines B. So it will be like this. C determines B. Sorry, here I have not written here. C determine B. So now in this case, AB was my primary key, so that is okay. C determines C. There is no issue with this dependency. So this is my final dependency. I will not modify this. Coming back to this C determine B, which is creating problem. So I am swapping the primary key attribute in this, making C as my key attribute instead of B. So in this case, I will have AC, and here I will have BD, right? So my B will be the key attribute in this case. So C determines B, which is now partial dependency. So I have to solve this partial dependency problem, right? So what I will do, consider primary key in one relation. So I will have A, here it is C, okay? By mistake I wrote B, that is now C because C is my primary key. AC, and I will take D over there. And second, I will have C determine B separately, where C is my primary key, okay? So here A, C, D, and here C, B, where now A and C are my key attribute, fully determining the non-key attribute, which is in BCNF and 3NF now. Here C is my key attribute, which is determining non-key attribute. So it is again in BCNF and 3NF, right? So here the problem is solved. While solving the BCNF sum, we'll again see with the proper example. This is also one proper example, but not full example. With full example, we'll solve this for BCNF also. Any doubt in this 1NF, 2NF, 3NF, BCNF, anyone? Till now, whatever theory part I have covered, 1 to BCNF. Any doubt anyone is having, please let me know. Else I'll move ahead. Okay. So at least write in chat box that you are clear with whatever points I have covered right now. Okay. Yes. So there is one more concept, that is, as I said, 4NF, which I am covering extra for you people. This is example which I will take afterwards. 4NF. So 4NF is nothing but if table contains two sets of independent multivalued dependency. Two sets of independent multivalued dependencies. Then table is not in 4NF. Okay, multi-value dependency, but there are two sets. One set, if there is only one set, we can solve it easily. But if there are two sets of multi-valued dependencies, independent multi-valued dependencies, then it is not in 4NF. To make, now in this table you can see we are having class name, faculty and subject. Class names are repeating, SE, T. Faculty names are also repeating. Subject names are also repeating over here, DB, DB, network, network, AOA, right? So in this case, this is not in 4NF. So to make it in 4NF, what we have to do? That is explanation. To eliminate multi-value dependency, split the table such that there is no multi-value dependency. To split the table, above table, Can anyone give me idea how we can split this so that we will not have the repeating value?
Ma'am, we'll split class name with one subject and class name with faculty.
Correct. So we'll split this with the class name with the faculty as one table, or and second table class name with the subject. So based on that, we'll get our problem solved. Where we'll not have two multi-value dependency. So I'm having here, you can see I have taken class name, all are class name with the subject. Subjects are different. So nothing is repeating over here. I'm having SE with DB, SE with AOA. Different group, T with network, right? Then we are having class name with the faculty. SC with my name I have put, T with my name. So different groups are there. SC with other name, T with other name. So all are different, no repeating groups. So here, this is the way to solve the 4NF. In exam, I don't think they will ask you a 4NF because as per syllabus, they have mentioned only up to the BCNF. But still, in case, sometimes it happens that someone who knows the old syllabus setting your paper, so at least you should know the concept. So you can write something in that place. Okay. So that is about the theory part, which I want to cover for this normalization. Everyone clear with the normalization concept? If it is there, then what I can do, I will go for sum directly now only, as we have time. Okay. I'll do one thing. I'll just explain this sum first. Yeah, 4NF is nothing but when we are having more than when we are having two sets or more than two sets of independent multi-value dependency. So here when I am going for this combination, I am getting SE with the faculty name is somewhere repeated, or T with faculty name somewhere repeated, right? Here you can see SE with faculty name. Same way here I am having SE with the same faculty name. So it is repeating. Similarly, I am having SE with DB here. Again, I am having SC with DB. Somewhere same repeating groups I am getting in this combination. So what I have to do, I have to break this table into two different tables where I will not find any repeating group, right? So what I have done, class name I have divided with the faculty, and class name I have divided with the subject. So for that, if you are doing class name, how many class names I can put, or faculty I can keep separate, or subject I can keep separate, right? So according to that, I have break it into the two tables, which are class I have put with the subject, where subjects are unique and class is repeating SESE, but with this class, subject is different. So group is different, right? Similarly, here with the class, I am putting the faculty, where class are repeating or faculty are repeating, but when creating a group, it is different. So nowhere I am having the combination as a repeating group or multi-valued attribute in one table as a combination. So that is one thing, and we are breaking it into the different tables where we are solving the problem, right? So that is known as a 4NF. I hope it is clear, Shubham. So we are going with yeah, we are going with some part. So just here you can see we are having one problem statement. One problem statement is given. We'll not go in detail of this problem statement right now. In as per the problem statement, we have created the tables which are like this. Looks something like this. Okay. Now, in exam, they will give you such diagram. This is there. Divide this or identify the normalization up to 3NF or up to BCNF. So you have to solve that. Based on this, all of you just draw this diagram which is given over there. So here you have to solve this diagram. We'll solve this one by one, but don't copy everything from there because These are not complete step, only the diagrammatic part I have kept there. I will tell you one by one how to write it. Just draw that diagram which is given over there. We have project number, we have project name, we have employee number, we have employee name, we have job class, we have charging hours, we have hours billed. Actually, this is hours billed, but it is here only shown as hours. So it is okay. You take hours. Doesn't matter. Name doesn't matter. Okay. Now, once it is done, let me know. Don't solve further. I will explain you how to write and do that sum. One by one, we will go. And if I'm going fast, please let me know. Copy this diagram, everyone, in your notebook and keep that with you as a solution. Yeah. Everyone finished with the diagram? Shall I go ahead? Okay. Don't write down these wordings. Only the diagram with the arrow which are given. And arrows do it properly. Okay, who will tell me now which is the candidate key over here? Which is the candidate key in this given diagram? I'll just show you that question. In exam, it is asked. Uh, yeah. So this is the way they are asking you the question. Consider, write down the question properly. Consider a dependency diagram of relation R and normalize it up to third normal form. Or you don't write up to third normal form. You write normalize it. Okay, keep it up to third normal form, or we will go for BCNF with other example. Write the same question. Copy down this question. Usually in exam, this is hours bid, or if it is given hours, that is also okay. You write the name which is given. Don't put any or don't change any name which is given in the dependency diagram. Use the same name. Okay. So right now you all use this, or you can say hours over here. No problem. Okay. So question copy. You all have copied the question. So I will go with that so that it is easy to explain you. So this is done, everyone. Now, right, who will tell me what is a candidate key? I asked this question, right? Which is a candidate key in this given dependency diagram? Student, I hope you know how to find out the key attribute. Key attribute always with a underline. So candidate key in this case is, yeah,
Project number and employee number.
correct. So write down first solution, first point. Candidate key is equal to, put in curly bracket, project number, comma, EMP, that is employee number. Okay. Yeah, correct. So put that first mention. Always first you have to find out the candidate. Okay. Now, second step is you have to list down all the functional dependencies, right? So before writing the functional dependency, you have to write down what is R, what is given R. So all of you write down R. Or R we will do later on. No, don't write. After that, write down uh, functional dependency. Next line. Functional dependencies. Functional dependencies are as follows. Functional dependencies are as follows. Okay. Then write down below that F1, F1 colon F colon. Write down first one. Project number determines project name. Write down this. Don't put bracket like this. Write down project number determines project name. Okay. Below that, F2 colon F2 colon project number comma EMP number. Project number comma EMP number determines means arrow. Determines word means use arrow. Project number comma, see here with the how I am writing this. First I have written project number determines project name. So this is done with this. Second I am writing this project number and employee number. These two are determining. What they are determining? They are determining employee name, job class, comma charging us, comma project name. So all of you write down this project number, comma employee number, arrow that is determines. Write down everything which is there in blue, separated with comma, because arrow is pointed towards them, right? From this. So that is our F2. Write down F colon, F3 colon. Let me know if I'm going fast, because I'm not having board here, so I have to dictate it. F3 colon, third one we are going with the which one we can take. Here we have something, employee number. So write down employee underscore number. It determines employee name, job class and charging hours. Okay. So employee number determines means arrow, employee name, job class and charging hours. So you should know first how to write down this functional dependency. That's it, or is there any other functional dependency exist? No, right?
Job class and charge hours.
Yes. So we are having job class determining charging hours. So write down next below that F4 determines job class. F4 colon job class determines charging hours. Whiteboard, I'm not getting over here with the Google Classroom. Yeah, it is there. I'll try to use it. But writing, But here then I have to write with mouse only. I want something which I can write freely. Otherwise it will take time.
No, ma'am. Continue on the PPT only. It's fine with us.
Yeah, because this I can also do with the pen 10 or a normal word file, but that is taking time. That is my intention. So I am just, if it is not clear, let me know, students. I will try with whatever I am going ahead. Still, if you have, you let me know. Fine. So right now till here we have listed down the functional dependencies. I am going slow for you people, so don't worry about it. I'm sure that you will get 10 marks for this if you will do it properly. So here now functional dependencies are listed down. I'm again now going back with our functional dependency. So all of you just concentrate on F1 which we have listed, that is project number determines project name. It is which kind of dependency? Partial functional dependency, fully functional dependency, or transitive functional dependency? Just now we covered the concept of partial functional dependency means what, fully functional dependency means what, and transitive, right? So partial functional dependency, fully or partial, transitive. Anyone? Okay. Our candidate key is what? Project number and employee number. That is our key attribute now. Primary key. Candidate key means this is completely together is a primary key. So if these two are determining something, means it is a fully functional dependency. Now clear? Any part of this is determining something non-key attribute, then it is partial functional dependency. Okay? So partial means part of the attribute is determining something. Yes, Mitesh, you are right. This is a part of my key attribute which is determining some non-key attribute. So this is a partial functional dependency. So all of you where you have written F1 colon project number determines project name, write with pencil or with some another pen in bracket PFD, partial functional dependency. Means next to this in round bracket mention with some other pen so that it will be easy for you people to solve the sum. Write down PFT, that is partial functional dependency. Clear? Okay. We'll go for next F2. F2 is our project number and employee number. That is this. Project number and employee number. They're determining this project name, employee name, job class, charging hours and hours. So here these two are key attribute. They are determining the non-key attribute. So this is my fully functional dependency. So no need to write down anything for this. Go for next F3. F3 is my employee number, determines employee name, job class and charging hours. So this is which kind of dependency now? Can you tell me? Only employee number determining these non-key attributes. So this is which kind of functional dependency? Anyone? Yes, correct. It is again partial functional dependency. So next to that write down in bracket PFT in capital, or you can write completely partial functional dependency. Correct. So this is part of my key attribute determining non-key attribute. So this is known as a partial functional dependency, which we require to our solution. Okay. Now next go for F4. F4 is a job class determine charging hours. As I said, job class is not my key attribute. Charging hours not my key attribute. So non-key attribute determining non-key attribute. Whereas this non-key attribute is determined by my some other key attributes here. Right? Correct? This non-key attribute is determined by my key attribute. So these are determining this, and then this is determining something. So this is known as a transitive functional dependency. So next to this write down TFT, transitive functional dependency. So next to this, write down transitive functional dependency, that is our F4. Till here done, everyone? So non-key, determining non is known as a transitive functional dependency. But remember, this non-key has to be determined by the key attribute. Somewhere it has to have a link with the transitivity. Otherwise, you cannot say. So this is our first step, just listing down what is given. So everyone in exam, this is your first part. Now we'll go for 1NF. So write down 1NF. Next line, 1NF, highlight it or underline it, whatever. We are going to give the solution for that. Okay, fine. Then write down next. R, capital R1. Or where is that? I'll just show the example from my notes to how to write. Okay, write down something like this, like this. This is my R1. Write down R1, round bracket. R1, round bracket. List down all this. Oh, sorry, here, not here. List down all this given. Project number, employee number, that is this one, which is given one functional dependency. Project number, project name, employee name. In 1NF, in place of 1NF, you write down R1, capital R1, and write down all these. Okay? Okay, below that write down now. Below that write down R1 is in 1NF. R1 is in 1NF since there are no repeating groups present. Since there are no repeating groups present in R1. R1 is in 1NF since there are no repeating groups present in R1. So here you can say they have, if repeating groups are there, they will mention in your given question. Okay. Otherwise, there is nothing having the similar value, double value. So we'll get this statement, and they have given this, right? Fully functional dependency for all other attributes. So because of this, we can say it is in 1NF. So R1 is in 1NF since there are no repeating groups present in R1. Okay. So now next, go to the next line, write down 2NF. 2NF. Now before going for 2NF, we have to check this R relation is in 1NF or not. So as we know, R1 is in 1NF, right? So write down next line for 2NF. R1 is in 1NF. R1 is in 1NF, but not in 2NF. But not in 2NF. Because of partial functional dependencies. Because of partial functional dependencies. So R1 is in 1NF but not in 2NF because of partial functional dependencies. Which are the partial functional dependencies here? In terms of F, you tell me.
F1 and F3.
Yes, so write down because of partial functional dependencies F1 and F3. Next line write down that is, you know how to write that is. So that way you can continue. That is, write down F1 again here. F1 colon that functional dependency, project number, determine project name. Next line, okay, one by one we'll take. That is F1 colon project number determines project name. I'll do one thing. Yeah. So now write down therefore, put three dots. I don't have here now to put the three dots. Therefore, divide R1, divide R1 into R2 and R3. Therefore, divide R1 into R2 and R3. Now, as we are breaking R1 into two other relations, R1 is not our final answer. Okay? It is now further divided into R2 and R3. Don't write this, I am explaining. So, this R1 is not our final answer now. R2 and R3 right now are our final answer. So, below that write down R2. How we will break the R2? R2 will be, okay, go back to, I'm going back. I'll just show this also side by side. Yeah. So here R2 is will be as a which functional dependency we have taken? Project number determines project name. So R2 will be your project number, comma, project name. Okay. So in this case, my project number will be the primary key because it is determining, it is a part of my key attribute which is determining the non-key attribute. So I can say it is my part of primary. Till here clear everyone? Okay, fine. So we have divided R1 into R2 one part because we have done with R2 project number determines project name, but remaining things are there in R1 which we have to keep ahead, right? So we'll say R3 will be in that case whatever left now. Key attribute you have to consider everywhere. You cannot separate it. Okay. So I will have now remaining things are employee underscore number. Then what else I have? Project underscore number. If I am taking project number as a primary key in this case, where it was the partial key, I will not skip from my main relation. I will keep it as my primary key. So in this case, these two are my primary. Okay. Then I will have comma. Next, what else is there? Employee name, right? I don't want underlines for this. These all things are happening when we are going with this, but it's okay. Then we have what else? Job class. Then I have then what else left? Hours. As per this example, it is hours. So this is the way I have completed now. I have finished breaking R1 into R2 and R3. Okay. When I am breaking it into R2, why I am breaking it into two different things? Because R2, when it is a part of my 1NF, here it is showing the partial functional dependency. So that was present in 1NF. So I have to remove that. For that, I have done this. That is breaking R1 into two relations. Where now here I cannot say this is a partial because only project number is my primary key here. Here these two are primary key and it is okay. But further, that is one partial dependency we solved. There is one more partial dependency, right? So now I can say this R2 is my clear part, right? So it is my final functional dependency. Someone I will say, I will put some star. You can put star over there. Right now I don't have not star over there. This is my, I'll put this star multiplication wala. Okay. Now Write down next thing after this. R2 and R3. Or no. Before R3, we'll write about R. R2 is in 2NF. I'll write down here. R2 is in 2NF. But R3 is not in 2NF. But R3 is not in 2NF. Can anyone give me the reason? Why R3 is not in 2NF? Why R3 not in 2NF? Is there any partial functional dependency present in this? One partial functional dependency was project number determine project name. So project number determine project name. It is not there right now here in this, correct? Second partial functional dependency was employee number. So employee number determine this. It exists in this R3 or not?
Yes, ma'am.
It exists. So we have to remove that, right? So because of partial functional dependency F3. That is employee number. I'll just copy from here. I have to go that I have converted into diagram. So employee number determines employee name, comma, job class, charging hours. It is not having hours with it, right? So we'll take that only, whatever is given in that partial. We are having that is employee number determines employee name, wherever letter is small you can take care. Employee name, job class and charging hours. This is my F3, correct? So now next write down divide. Therefore divide R3. Now when I am dividing R3, I'll this R3 is not my final now because I am dividing it further, right? So R3 I am going to divide. So here we can divide R3 into R4 and R5. Okay, R4 and R5. So with that, we'll divide it into further. What will be R now, anyone? I want answer from you people based on this, the way we did this. Who will give me R4? Nobody? Somebody on understanding?
Ma'am, project number, EMP number determines hours,
Project number?
EMP number determines hours, and R5 with the EMP number determines EMP name, job class, and charging number.
Charging hours, correct. Whatever answer she gave. So based on that, what we have to put this employee number is determining something, right? So that we will put in one relation. So we'll copy this. I'll just copy this. You people write down. This will be in one relation where instead of determining when showing the relation, comma. This in one class. R5 will be, now from this R3, employee number and project number were the primary key. So we'll keep them as it is. Will not break them. So here I am taking this. Okay. In this case, which will be primary key? Employee number is determining thing. So my employee number will be the primary key. So I have to take care of that also. Then comma. Now from this relation, this primary key I have taken. After that, employee number which is present here, job class which is present here, charging hours which is present over here. Left is hours. So I required hours. So I will just take it over here with this. Hours is my non-key attribute. Okay. So these are my R4 and R5 now. Okay. In this case, primary key is everywhere clear. Done. Now, next. After this, write down next. 3NF. Write down next. 3NF. This 3NF. Just make a box or whatever highlight you want to do. Now, R3 we have broke into two parts. So R3 is not our final answer. Our final answers are now R2, R4 and R5. R2 is clear. So now we'll go ahead with this. So write down R4 and R5. R4 and R5 are in 2NF. R4 and R5 are in 2NF. First, going for 3NF, we have to check whether the relations are in 2NF or not. R4 and R5 are in 2NF, but R4 is not in 3NF. But R4 is not in 3NF because of which functional dependency? Can anyone tell me? For 3NF? Yes, transitive functional dependency. Which is the transitive functional dependency in our case?
F4.
Yes, because of F4. F4, which is because of F4, that is, I can say, write down the transitive functional dependency, which is our job class determines charging hours, right? Which is transitive functional dependency. Okay, till here everyone done? Shall I increase the font size over here?
Yes, ma'am, little bit.
R2 will also come in
No, R2 is
3NF.
final now. R2 is by default is in now final answer. It is in 3NF only. We have finalized it. R2 cannot be further divided, right? Till the relation cannot be further divided, you have to check it. Now it is, we cannot break it into 1, right? This relation, we cannot break it into means only one attribute in one table. Then we will not get dependency. So this is a final answer, which is all in 1NF, 2NF, 3NF, BCNF, everywhere. It is satisfying everything. So we will not touch it. We will keep it for final answer, to write the final answer. Okay. Now we have written about the doing R4 and R5. As per that, R4 and R5, R5 further cannot be divided. This is also our final answer, R5. It is determining only one non-key attribute. So I can say here also, if you want, you can put star. Okay? Clear, everyone? Clear? Now we have to break it, right? Therefore, put 3 dots. Solve in mathematical format. Okay, I don't have that now 3 dots. Therefore, divide R4 into next 2. Now we have done till R5, so we'll say R6 and R7. So our R6 will be, which we are dividing now, R4, right? So R4 is this. As per that, what is our this case? Transitive, take that in first relation. Job class and charging class. Now in this case, which will non-key determining non-key. So it is transitive. So I am saying job class as my primary key here, which is not further divided. So I can say this is final. Next I am having R7. Okay, R7 will be now from this. R4, I have taken R4. I have taken top class. I have taken over here, but it is primary key over here. I cannot remove it from the main relation because it is present over here. I will say it is foreign key over here. So I have to put dotted underline. Okay. Now in this case, job class is determining non-key charging hours over here. So I don't have to keep it over here from my main relation. So I am removing it. Any other attribute? Employee number, employee name present over here? No. So I have to keep those attributes with remaining attributes, right? So this is not further divided because I don't have any other transitive dependency. I don't have any other partial dependency which I have to solve, right? So this will be my final answer over here, right? So next you write down, therefore, final normalized relations are, final normalized relations are. Take this as a box or whatever. This is your final answer, which also carries some marks, right? So whatever your final relations are there, just copy those. This R2, which cannot be further classified. I don't require those stars. Just the relation. So I'm taking that here. Control V. Okay. Which are other? These two are there. Okay. Then I have one more, right? Here, R5. So these are my relations which are not having repeating groups, which are not having partial functional dependency, and which are not having transitivity relation or transitivity dependency. All are removed from this relation. So I can say these are normalized relations. So this is my final answer. Okay. Now, once your final answer is done, you have to show your dependency diagram. Okay, so dependency diagram is your homework part. I will tell you how to draw that dependency diagram. First you will take somewhere in center. I will just go. That will you will share. So for example, you will say R1 and write down what is R1. Inside that, whatever is we have written, write it down. Now draw the tree for this. You know how to draw the tree. Line. How you are breaking the R1 into two relations, that is R2 and R3. So write down for R2 what are the things, for R3 what are the attributes. Then similarly, if we are breaking R3 further, right? R2 we are not breaking, so put star over there. Then R3 we are breaking, break it again in further parts. Show that R4 and R5. Again we are breaking R5, not R4. Put star for R4, sorry R5. Show the breaking of R4 with R6 and R7. That will be your dependency or normalized relations. Okay, or dependency diagram for normalized relation. Okay, so that will be your homework part now. Now I am not taking that. In next lecture, maybe on Monday, we will. Okay, first, any doubt in this sum? Any doubt anybody is having in this sum? If it is there, ask right now so that in next lecture I can start with the next chapter directly. R7. Yeah. Here. R6 is my, I have to consider job class is determining charging hours, non-key determining non-key. So I have taken that in one relation. From that, the determinant, whichever is a determinant, that will be my primary key now. But this is now on this spot I have created that is a primary key based on this transitive relation, right? So this will act as a foreign key in my previous relation. That is I have divided R4, right? This is my base relation for these two. So in this base relation, job class is there. So I am as a foreign key because it is a primary key in R6 now. In my base relation, I was having employee number, which is not present in R6. So I have kept employee number as it is. And also it is primary key. So I have to keep it. Employee name, which is not present in R6. So I have kept it here. Job class, which is a primary key here. I have to keep it as a foreign key. And charging hours, which is not present over here. So I have not put into my next relation. Clear? R7. Again, further, if you want, you can check it for a BCNF. But in our dependency diagram, they have not given anything for BCNF, non-key attribute determining key attribute. That example I will take in your assignment, or I will put in your assignment. In that, if you are having doubt, you can ask me. So, shall I say that it is understood by everyone? And in next lecture, we can start with our last chapter of the syllabus. Okay?
Ma'am,
Yes. Yeah, Lekha?
ma'am, is that be the part of the answer
Which one?
which you have given homework?
Yes, that is a part of your answer, dependency diagram.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take your attendance. Some more example. Okay, so what